If you're new here, we're Gabe and Paula. Back in 2020, we moved out of our apartment and converted our van into a mini casa on wheels. We were first-time van builders with little experience. It was hard, but totally worth it. For more van life content, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. Hey everyone,
Hello.
How's it going?
So our video of the time lapse of the van conversion has had quite a lot of success, which is amazing.
So thanks everyone for watching and liking and commenting, all those things.
Yeah. So in the comments of the video, we got quite a few questions about some of the steps. And whereas we do have a van build series, which everything is more detailed and you have 8 videos to watch everything, step by step, we thought we would just go through the time lapse and explain what we're doing.
Yeah, and just
step.
expand a little bit on things and kind of just give a little bit more advice about how to do the things and stuff like that.
Yeah, if you would rather watch it without
Us
any
talking.
comments, you can just click here. And that's just the time lapse.
Yeah.
Otherwise, stay.
Just a few things straight off the bat. I think it's important to remember that there isn't one right way of doing a van build or like a van conversion. There's different people, different vans with different wants and needs. So yeah, this is kind of our way.
Yeah, and also we didn't have any experience. We learned things as we went, day by day we would learn something new.
A combination of trial and error and watching YouTube
Other
videos.
People with experience. So this is just our experience, and I'm sure we did some things wrong. So just let us know what you would have done differently, or just what.
Because ultimately, we want this channel and these videos to be helping people in doing their own van builds and van conversions.
Yeah.
And the more people who get involved, the more information that's out there to help people.
And you can also learn from our mistakes.
So there's a bunch of free material online for learning how to do a van build, which is either on YouTube or blogs and things like this. But we decided to use Nate Murphy's van conversion guide, which is about £15 or something like that.
£15, where it has lots of information.
We'll be putting links to different resources in the description below. But before we get into it,
please check us out on Instagram.
And also comment and like on this video, and of course, make sure you subscribe.
Yeah.
And the notification bell. Yeah, hopefully this will help some people. Okay, here we go.
So the first step was getting rid of everything that was already in the van. So here we are getting rid of the floor. We've already taken out the panels that were on the sides and the bulkhead. Yeah,
so with the bulkhead, it depends whether you want to keep the whole bulkhead or just half of it or none of it like we did. So
yeah, and then cleaning it was filthy.
Yeah.
It was not too bad because I think it was used for machinery, but and it was quite rusty.
On the floor, so we gave it a scrape with the special rust thing and then some rust paint.
Yeah.
So we put the battens on the floor and we spent ages working out where these were going to go.
Basically, you want to make the buttons go inside to where you're going to be drilling stuff to the floor. So you are not drilling, because as you will see in a minute, we put some Celotex to insulate the floor. And if you are screwing things to Celotex, that will not be secure. So measure where your counter is going to end, your sofa, and put a button there.
Yeah.
And then to create the vapor barrier, we put some tin foil.
For the foil tape.
Foil tape.
Yeah.
Oh, lots of questions about what this is.
Yeah, so sound deadening sheets.
Yes. What do they do? That's the main question.
They deaden the sound. No, so basically you put these all over the van, because the van is just a tin van, basically. It's just metal. So yeah, exactly.
Normally people recommend getting 50% coverage. More or less.
Next was the battens on the ceiling.
Yes, so why do we have buttons in the ceiling? Well, it's just to put the cladding later. You need somewhere to screw them. And it was a real pain.
Yeah, there's a few different ways of doing this. We went for probably the hardest way. You could just screw them straight up into the... what do you call them?
Rivets.
They've got something with
It's
that.
got a name.
First scary moment.
And it was
Terrifying. Cutting.
terrifying.
But it's fine.
You know, measure 1,000 times, cut once.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
For sure. We bought a kit from Van Pimps, we'll link it below. So they basically sell the window with everything that you need for like the
everything.
and it was amazing. Like honestly, it was so easy.
One thing I'd say is that you do have a little bit of space. You do have a bit of space to work with. So your cut, the measuring is really important, but then the cut, you don't have to be exactly on the line. So if you stray a little bit, a couple mil, it's all right. So yeah, that was a good feeling. So next was the floor. I actually regret putting a wood floor in. We could have just put the Sprinter floor back in.
Yes.
I don't really know why we did that. Not a big issue, not a big mistake.
No, because I mean we did use the floor that was, and this is, you know, as you can see, like we used it as a template to make sure that we got the shapes right of like the wheel boxes, and just then screw it.
I think we did save a bit of space in terms of height in the van by not putting the Sprinter floor back in. Next is putting battens onto the side. Why did you put battens on the side?
Well, that's where, again, same as the ceiling, that's where you screw the cladding, as well as shelves, counter, anything that needs to be screwed to the side.
It just makes it extra solid, I think.
Yes.
That's the thing. And we used self-tapping screws. Really, really good. They just go straight into the metal. That's a bit of a scary moment, just drilling straight into the side of the van. I mean, obviously check that you're not going to pop a hole in the side of your van, but most places are fine.
Yeah, like check that there's enough distance.
In terms of joinery, we used a pocket hole jig. Really, really easy. Good.
Yeah, there was like a bit of a debate with that because I didn't think it was necessary. I thought with like a simple bracket would do.
Yeah.
I admit I was wrong. It was really useful.
Yeah, highly recommend for any joinery to do the pocket hole jig.
Yeah.
Pre-wiring.
Oh my god. So
you need to get this done early, and this is where some of your bigger decisions have to be, like where you're going to have some electrics and where you're going to have your power socket and things like this.
there are ways of passing a cable after you've finished, but it might not be completely hidden. And so if you want everything to be like behind the cladding,
yeah.
You need to make those decisions early.
Yeah.
So where is the fan going to go? The fridge, the water pump, if you're going to have one. So like, and
Yeah.
then that's
because basically you're going to have your electric hub in one place where all the wires are going to go to, and then they kind of sprayle out from there. And if you are wanting to have things around different sides of the van, yeah, and if you want them hidden, this is where you got to do it. Always label them as well, both sides.
and make sure you get twin wire. It might not make much sense to you now, but we accidentally got
like 40 quid's worth of the wrong wire.
because it was
And did all the pre-wiring.
did all the pre-wiring, and then it was impossible to join two lights or anything because it was not the twinned one, and we had to take it all out and start again, and we lost a lot of money.
Yeah. So yeah, and there's heaps of videos about the electrics online.
But at the same time, there's so much, it's confusing. So
we'll link a couple of good videos.
yeah, and we'll do a video about like how journalists
Yeah.
our wiring. So.
Yeah. Solar panel.
The solar panel, we saw in Nate Murphy's guide that it was actually very useful to put it on hinges, because then you can lift it to climb underneath it. So that
Or
was
catch the sun at a different angle.
or catch the sun. Yeah,
like in
true.
the kind of winter and stuff like that, you can get a bit more power.
Yes.
It was fairly easy to attach it all.
Pro tip: make sure you buy really good sealant, because we got like cheap one from Amazon, and
It was rubbish.
the first time we had a storm, suddenly had a massive.
We had a leak. Yeah, I think everyone goes through this who's done a van build. You're just praying that you don't, and I'm really glad we did at that point because then,
it was in summer, so like we had like then a sunny week, and we just took all the sealant and replaced it with new sealant, and I think it was fun.
Yeah, we just went to a kind of DIY shop. This was when we were in Spain, and just spoke to them about it, and the guy gave us the best sealant ever. So
it was like tiles in the roof.
Do that rather than some random crap off Amazon, basically.
Yeah. Oh, the insulation was so fun. Yeah. Like, that's the fleece, the thermal fleece, is basically for the temperature. So you just stuff it. Sometimes you may need to put some adhesive, spray adhesive to like attach it to the sides. But it's as simple as it gets. Just stuff.
Yeah, tear and stick, basically.
Yeah,
or tear and stuff.
Stuff all the holes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so and it's a really, really rewarding day's work because you're fully seeing things happen.
It's some of the smallest holes that you will not be able to get fleece inside. We just use some expanding foam.
Is it worth it? Who knows?
I don't know.
Just why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that was the band liner, so that would create a vapor barrier. And it's quite simple. It's one of the sizes adhesive, so just stick it as you go.
Yeah.
And you make sure you mark where the buttons are for the cladding later. It's important. Yeah. Some people put the buttons after the band liner.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, wherever you want. Yeah, it looked like a spaceship at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was.
Oh my god.
We were putting this off. It's worth doing it, but it's such a pain.
Yeah, so we decided that we couldn't ignore the fact that we might need to insulate the cabin. So watch tutorials on how to take off the cabin.
Yeah, because you got to be a bit careful because there's the airbags and stuff like that. But again, there's videos online of how to do it, and you can see in our van build what we did. We explain a bit, but yeah, it was such a good feeling to finish that because it was such a pain.
Yeah, and it's not perfect. I'm sure we missed some bits, but every bit of insulation. We decided to put a.
So yeah, we made a shelf.
We made a shelf, yeah.
For the cab.
And it took so long.
Yeah, we used some cardboard to measure it first. That was wrong.
Then some thin plywood and then some thicker plywood.
For some reason, it took so long getting the angles right because it's kind of curved and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We put some carpet on it, same colour as the rest of the van.
Yeah, so you could not tell that it was not here before the conversion. It's amazing, and that's where all our bedding goes. So it's really worth it.
Yeah, else it's just dead space.
Yeah, and then just so it looks nice, we carpeted that bit at the back that you see.
And by the way, Paula is amazing at that.
The cladding. It was exciting and scary and frustrating starting the cladding, but it's when you start. Everyone says it's when you start seeing the results.
Because you're actually finally doing stuff that you're going to see in the final product.
Yeah.
All up to this point, it's all hidden away.
Yeah. So like, what you want to do is measure and check that it's not too warped. Most of them will be. You
can check out our van video, our van build series, of how you actually attach them, but it's just these little clips and nails.
It's a tongue and groove we got. So it's got a little metal thing that looks like a robot. So you just like put it in. That's where you put the nail, and then you put the next one there, so it's hidden. Yeah. It just doesn't make sense what I've said, but it is. And as you can see, we are marking where we had the buttons, because from then on you won't be able to feel where the buttons are.
Yeah, really.
And you still need to know that for your shelves.
Do it.
And counter.
Do it. Oh my god.
Fun.
That was a stressful day.
I still have a bit of PTSD.
So there's a few moments where it's really terrifying, and that's cutting holes in the sides of the roof of the van. So the way we worked is, and this is why it's good doing it as a team, is Paula's really, really good at measuring and being accurate and all this sort of stuff, and I'm a little bit fearless and just will cut into things and be like, right, let's go for it. You were really You're a really great person to do a van build with. So
Cladding?
Yeah, like cladding, the ceiling should be done after the fan because you have to cut the cladding around where the fan's going to be.
Yeah, and the fan is going to come with a flange. So
Good old flange.
yeah, so like if you don't cut the bits around the fan even, it doesn't matter, it's going to cover it. So.
Yeah, and you also have to work out where your spotlights are going to be at this point. So yeah, you're having to make some decisions. Yeah.
And this is the cladding we did for the back doors. We decided to make a half wall, and yeah, we made a half wall. You can see.
Yeah, this is it's partly to do with kind of privacy.
Like make the structure with some buttons, and then we put some cellotex that we had left from So like
why not?
Why not? and then just clad it, and we did put some carpet on the other side, so it looked exactly like the shelf and the rest of the cup. So just
we had a question about that. Oh, I bet it looks horrible on the other side. We're like, well, yeah, I mean,
it's carpeted.
we put some just a bit of sheet of plywood and then and then carpet.
Yeah, at that point the van looked like a sauna.
Yeah, sauna on wheels. Yeah. Again, if you want to have a more in-depth look at these things, check out our van build series. We spend a little bit more time talking about the things. And okay, again, any questions, put them in the comment section. Having a cup of tea.
We were tired at this point.
You can talk about this.
Oh yeah, before you paint, make sure you sand. I'm not sure why. Just
it's to do with the paint sticking to the wood.
Yeah.
Side note here, we did little boxes around the wheel arches, and then you'll see later, but that's where we attached some other electrics and our water pumps and stuff like that to them.
Or even put some Danish oil, and it looks beautiful as well. So
personal aesthetics choice.
That's just whatever color scheme you want. And then we stained. That's not paint. We stained the ceiling. Okay, building the structures.
Okay, so this is a really fun part of the build. Again, pocket jig, and there's woodworking videos on how to use the pocket jig. So rather than me talk about it, look at them. This was our kitchen counter, and it's just this is where you're starting to put your plans and your dreams into action, basically.
Suddenly you start running out of space.
Yeah, very quickly. So just you got to kind of have the idea, but also measure and plan as you go.
And make sure everything is square.
Ooh, yeah.
Because if you do something that's not square and then you try to put a draw, it's going to be more difficult.
If you're curious about this stuff, have a look at some woodworking videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just for basic things.
The covers for
the benches.
The benches. So we used those slats are from
just old bed frame.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can get them fairly cheap, but we just use them. So just to quickly look, you have a rectangle, and then we trimmed half of the two sides so that the slats would sit into those sides, and then we put some hinges.
And that's when we decided to go for back windows. We were a bit more brave this time because we already had put a window there, so we did it a bit faster. Still.
Yeah. Measure.
Yeah.
Just to be safe.
We got it from the same company, Van Pimps, because it had been really good the first time, so we just did it.
Wear safety stuff.
And just make sure you put a lot of sealant, because guess what? We got a leak through the windows as well.
And again, we just put sealant on and it's fine now.
Yeah.
So these are the upper cabs. As you can see here, basically what we did. Well, you can see as we're doing it. It worked really well. A batten on the side, and it sits into it. They're absolutely solid. They're absolutely fine. They work really well. And you can also see our little control station where all of our light switches, plugs, solar charge controller, inverter plug, and all that sort of stuff, or inverter button. That's on the this is just totally up to you with how you want your van to look and where you want your things to be. We just wanted it all in one place. Our battery is pretty much directly underneath that. We weren't able to film everything towards the end of like putting the sink in, putting the stove in, basically because we were on like a very, very tight schedule to be able to get to our Eurotunnel, to get to France, to drive to Spain. As for the doors of all of our cabinets, we just made some doors out of some bits of plywood, just bits of wood we had left. We used an old coffee bag. it's kind of like what's that? Raffia style thing. And hinges are an absolute nightmare if you have never made cabinets before. So that will just take you a couple of goes maybe, and just practice, just get some wood and just give it a go. And the gas setup is pretty similar to the plumbing. I know we haven't put any of this in our videos, but again, there's lots of van plumbing videos about.
The gas can be a bit scary because
it's gas.
It's just gas. But
so you can see our electric here. Most people know someone that is an electrician or something like that, who know, and they'll sort you out. Or videos on YouTube. We'll do one at some point.
The water, tested for leaks. We did have a few leaks when we put the tank in. So it's just a trial and error.
Like looking at van tours and things like this, it seems like it's all done so quickly, so easily, and in a couple of days. But yeah, it's like some days you have really good days where you smash everything out, and other days you're like testing leaks for like half the day and trying to figure it out and tightening up and loosening, and it's all part of the thing though. But yeah, we had these under our benches. Table was an absolute nightmare. We're probably going to change our table at some point. Table leg is fine.
One of the problems about remember when I said make sure you put the buttons on the floor where you're going to be screwing things? So we didn't have a button where the table leg screws on the floor, so it was only attached to the very thin plywood of the floor. That means that suddenly our table was like balancing like that, and there was no button where we could put it. So that long piece of wood that you see there, that's just an attempt of
it attaches to a couple of buttons.
It attaches to like 3 buttons, and then the table attaches to that piece of wood. So that means that kind of secure.
But again, everything works out, and like there's a reason behind it. Paula can put her feet on those while we're sat on the benches.
Yeah, otherwise my feet wouldn't touch the floor.
So it actually works out quite well. Everything you mess up, it will be alright.
Everything happens for a reason.
The cushions, we bought them from so we bought the actual kind of foam from the website, which we'll link down below, and then we bought we didn't do it ourselves. We found someone who could put them on, and oh my god, she did such an amazing job. We would have been so terrible at doing that bit ourselves.
You can just do the fabric yourself. It's not recommended because
I'd say there's some things in the van build that you can just do yourself. Just crack on and do it. Other things, sometimes it's just good to get other people, professionals, to do it. Yeah,
so cushions, because obviously they are made to measure. So we measured how much foam that we would need, and then we put the fabric aside. So yeah.
And it's really comfy as well.
Yeah.
Little kind of.
Make sure you get the mattress foam if you're going to be sleeping, or otherwise get a mattress topper, because otherwise you're going to break your back sleeping here.
Yeah, exactly. And basically, we will be doing a van tour soon, so you'll see everything, but the bed just goes down onto those 2 little side bits and sleep on that.
After that, it's just finishing touches like curtains, spice jars.
Yeah, putting the fridge in. As far as the curtains go, we bought some thermal curtains, put them on a rail, but then also used the offcuts of that to make the thermal blinds for the windows, because we do have like some big windows in here, with some magnetic strips, because the van is metal, so magnets.
Yeah, magnets will stick to the van. It's not something that seems very obvious at the beginning, but it's like, oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and then there's a kind of once you've got all the basic structure and everything in there, it's just aesthetics, how you want things. And I'd say there's the first part of the build is getting everything ready to be able to go out and about. And then while you're out and about, you'll think, oh, wouldn't it be good if we had that there? Or wouldn't it be good if we had this there? And then that's the kind of almost the second part of the van build.
Yeah, and there are things you will change.
Okay, last few things to kind of add and think about that we didn't really cover in that. I don't know, ask us in the comments.
What do you think we missed?
Do you have any extra questions about things? I think for now, that will get you up and running, and then from that point you'll have developed all of these skills and you'll you'll think, oh, okay, I want to do this, I want to add that, and you know, I feel like now I'm like, oh, okay, can do anything we want to do now.
It's a learning process.
Yeah. So we hope this video has been helpful, a little bit more in depth about the van build and how to do one. As we said, if you've got any questions or comments, please leave them below, and yeah, we'll get back to you, and hopefully we can answer your questions and help you out. Make sure you like the video, that would be awesome.
Oh, and check us out on Instagram too.
Yep, subscribe, notification bell, you know the drill, and yeah, we'll see you next time.
Hasta luego.
Yeah, cool. So, and we'll be answer your questions and help you out. Make sure you like the video, that would be awesome, and
yeah, bye.
Okay, now I'm just gonna go. We're just interrupting. Make sure you like the video. Yeah.
No, we say it at the beginning, not at the end.
Yeah, but like in the middle of the video.
No.
You don't want that?
No. That was good.